All right, so we're going to be graphing inequalities. All right, and so when you've got x is less than 2, so what I want you to do is I want you to think of a number line, and that number line is going to have a 0. It's got to have the 2 because that's the whole point of this example here. And then, maybe there's -2 down here, and maybe there's 10 up here. All these extra ones you don't have to put in, but the 0 and the 2 are kind of important. All right, so now we've got our number line here, and this says x is less than 2. All right, so where's the 2? Well, the 2 is right here. And what side is less than 2? Well, it's going to be this side over here. All right, so our number line is going to be going, starting at that 2, and it's going to be going to the left. All right, so that's our number line, what our number line is going to be looking like. We are graphing all of the numbers that are less than 2. But now here's the thing. When you have, let's see, less than or equal, it's a soft edge. And when you have a less than or equal, or a greater than or equal, it is a, there we go, it is a hard end. All right, so we're going to call this a soft end, we're going to call this a hard end, and because this is less than, it's going to be a soft end, so we are going to use this curvy thing to show that's the end. So that what that means is it's not allowed to include the 2. It has to be anything less than 2, but it cannot be exactly 2 because 2 is not less than 2. All right. Now, back in the olden days, we used to do it, indicate it a little bit differently. So I'm going to share this because you might have learned this way back in high school. We would have, in the olden days, we would have said, well, since it's a soft comparison, it's less than, not less than or equal, it's soft. We would circle the 2, and then we would draw our arrow going to the left. All right, but this book, for whatever reason, prefers to use a curvy instead of an open circle. All right, and they use the bracket, the hard, rather than the what would be the filled in circle. All right, and so that, so which one is it? So since this is the answer, it's going to be B. B. All right, again, we have to graph x is less than or equal to, and that's the key, less than or equal to 6.6. So what would our graph look like? Well, here's 0, here's 6.6, and we want all of the values that are less than or equal to 6.6. So that's going to be all the numbers on this side. All right, so this is what we want. Now the question is this going to be a hard end or a soft stop? Hard stop or a soft stop? And because it's an equal, it means it's going to be a hard stop. So you're going to do it like that, as opposed to the, like the curvy thing. In this case, we do not want the curvy. We want the hard stop. So it's going to be a hard stop at 6.6 going left, and that's this one right here. So it's this one. And we're going to graph this inequality here. And so you got x is greater than -3, greater than or equal to -3, I believe it was. Yep, there it is, right there. And so x is greater than or equal to -3. So here's our 0. Let's put -3 down here. Now, what values of x are greater than or equal to -3? Well, that's going to be everything to the right of -3. Now the question is it a hard stop or a soft stop? And because it's an or equal, that equal sign, it means it's going to be a hard stop. So it's going to be a hard stop at -3, and it's going to go to the right, which means the answer is C in this case. So this time we're going to do it in reverse. They're going to give us the number line, and we're supposed to write the inequality. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to zoom in, and we see that it is at the 3. So I can write down 3. All right. Now, oh wait, it's not at the 3. It's at the 1. Sorry, it's at the 1. Now, you can see that x is everything less than that 1. So we know that x is going to be less than 1. But the question is it going to be less than or less than? Is it going to be less than or equal? All right. And because we see that it's a hard stop right there, it's a hard stop, that tells us that it's going to be less than or equal to 1. And there is our inequality. Now, you could have reversed the thing. You could have said 1. Now, which number is greater? Is the 1 bigger than the x, or is the x bigger than the 1? And you should be able to see that the 1 is bigger than the x. Kind of a little mnemonic is the mouth, this opening is bigger than the back here. You'll notice, it's kind of like if I zoom in. So right here, because it's getting bigger, that means the 1 is bigger than the x. All right, that's kind of a mnemonic. So because the 1 is bigger than the x, you could say 1 is greater than or equal to x. This would also work. So both of these, even though they look different, and you'll notice the symbols are different, they are saying the same information. All right, so another one where we've been given the number line and the inequality, and we have to write the inequality. So you'll see that our value is -5, and our variable is x. So it doesn't matter whether you want to put the x to the left or to the right. We can work it out either way, but I'm going to say x is on the left because I want to. Now, is x going to be bigger than -5, or is x going to be smaller than -5? Well, x is going to be bigger because all of these numbers are bigger than -5. So I'm going to start with this. X is bigger than -5. But now I have to decide, is this a hard stop or a soft stop? And because that's a soft stop, that means I'm going to leave it just like this, because this would be gives us, where am I going to draw this? Gives us a hard stop. All right. And that's not what we want. We want a soft stop. So it's just going to be greater, not greater than or equal. And if we wanted to, we could have reversed it. And it could have looked like this, and that would also work. So by the way, which one of these is the right answer? X is greater than -5. So x is greater than -5. So the answer is A. Last one. So you've got your inequality starts at 8. So we're going to start with 8, and we're going to say x is. Now, is x greater than 8, or is x less than 8? Well, we know that x is greater than 8. Now the question is it a hard stop or a soft stop? Well, it's a hard stop. So that means it's greater than or equal. So we are officially done. But you'll notice, all of the answer options have x on the right side. Well, that's because they want us to switch it. Now, remember, which one's bigger, x or 8? Well, x is bigger. So that means it's got to look like this, because our symbol shows that this wide part goes with the bigger number, the narrow part goes with the smaller number, but we can't forget the or equal symbol because it was that hard stop. And so 8 is less than or equal to x. So the answer is D. And that wraps up this video.